So today we will discuss next concept in functions, that is decorators. So we are gonna see decorators and generators today. There is another concept also called iterators. Okay, so this concept is also regarding functions only. But to understand iterators, you should know classes concept. So that is the reason I am not touching on iterators concept now. But what I will do is I will cover these two things and will proceed for further topics. So in advanced Python, I will conduct a one complete session on iterators. Okay, so these are very powerful and important in terms of interviews. Fine. So decorators, first of all, what do you mean by decorator? These are also functions. We are talking functions concept. These are also functions. Okay, a function, a function which takes a function as parameter, uh, modifies it and return return modifies it and return to uh, return as a function to program. Okay, return as function to program, returns a function. Okay, or returns a function. Fine. So basically, this kind of concept you saw, you should understand def display. Our previous program I'm talking about fun. What is this fun? I said fun is a function. You should know prerequisites to understand the decorators concept is you should know we can pass a function as parameter to another function. Okay, so this is a formal argument. You have passed a function as parameter to display function. Now you should know we can define a function inside another function. So this also possible. Okay, forget about code for now. And you should also know you can return a function as a return to another function. Am I right? So these 3 points together we will see in the decorators concept. So here in this case this is decorator and this is the one which is going to get decorate. Okay, so you just ignore this, but just have these points in your mind. Yes, we know that we can pass a function as parameter to another function. Yes, we know that we can define a function inside another function, and also we know that we can return a function as return to another function. Okay, fine. So first of all, we'll have to understand some steps to write this. So first of all, why do you need, what is this decorator altogether? See, what is the general meaning of term decorator? Hmm? So decoration means what? Uh, can you guess what is decoration? See, let imagine your niece or nephew birthday is there, right? Uh, so do you when you do birthday celebrations, right? Cake cutting and all happens. Okay, so as usual, the same hall, do you cake cut or do you decorate your hall? Obviously, you will put some balloons as such. So not as the way how daily your hall looks like, but on that birthday you decorate your hall. Okay, right, let me give another example. Now after this class, okay, let's say you have uh, a function to attend. Fine, so now maybe we will go from here around 9 9:15. Let's say immediately you have to step into a car, and by 10 o'clock you have to go to relatives home. Okay, so now how the way you are sitting in your home, okay, I know few people are sitting on bed only and attending, few people are in hall attending, few people are in study room attending, few people are like in the lawn somewhere. Okay, you are into different positions today, right? Every day usually. So with the same attire how you are now, if I ask you to immediately step out after the class and go and attend your let's say your cousin marriage, will you go and attend like that? Obviously not, right? You are in maybe night dress, you have not taken bath, right? So you will, what is the difference between you now and let's say you are in front of your brother or sister marriage in the function hall? There you have got decorated. At home present now you are not decorated, right? Am I right or wrong? So let us say your weight, let me take 60 kg, right? I'm generalizing. I'm saying let's say your weight is 60 kg, right? Now, okay. So, but when the moment when you go to your uh, party, right, in a marriage ceremony, right? So at marriage, sir, what is this 2 kilos, sir? I'm there as it is, no. Why you have added 2 kilos to me for my weight in matter of 1 2 hours from the class to go to my cousin wedding? How I increased 2 kilos? Yes, Baba, for sure you might have increased 2 kilos. You wear jewelry, right? Am I right or wrong? So as usual, daily at home you don't, right? So pattu sari, okay. So right, so high heels, so right. So basically, these kind of all extra stuff which you don't put every day, but only on some special cases you do it. Am I right or wrong? So obviously your weight gets increased. So I can call this as I can call this as without decoration, and the below line with decoration. Okay. So what is the difference? The originality is this. On top of this, you have added something. Am I right? On top of this, you have added something. Okay. So for males, maybe let me write blazer. Okay. So shoes. Okay. So this kind of stuff, it increases their weight. Okay, so original weight is 60, after decoration weight is 62. So this is a layman terms of understanding how we are getting decorate ourselves, right? So, do you think only you yourself can decorate? No, functions also can decorate. Okay, we can make functions decoration. Okay, so what do you mean by decorating a function, sir? See, basically, you take a function, you define this function, it is giving result 10. Okay, after decoration, after decoration, fun will give 15 as like answer. So what is the difference you made? You have added 5 to the original value. Okay, this may be 100, so this will go to 150, sorry, 105. Okay, so what is that? What is the value add you have done? Through decoration concept, you have revised your, modified your function value to new value, that is you have added some 5 to it. Okay, so basically a function also can decorate. Okay, original answer, if you're not satisfied with the original answer, you can decorate it, and then you can come up with a new answer. Okay, that is the concept of decoration, simple. So how do you decorate means, so in layman terms, try to understand how do you decorate. Let's say after this class, do you think immediately you will go to function, or you will put all this, right? And of course these kind of things also you will do. This is facials, right? So this is decoration for our layman terms, for our normal human beings, right? For so facial, where do you go and do, right? Your beauty parlors or saloon, right? So how we have beauty parlor and saloon shops, right? Likewise for function, if we have decorators. Okay, so decorator is as good as your a beauty parlor. Okay, just for your understanding, right? So who will go to beauty parlor? Humans. Okay, humans will go to beauty parlor. Who will go to decorators? Functions. Functions will go to decorators. Understand? So here what all different type of decorations you want, you can get apply. Okay, so here also what all decorations you require for function, you can apply in the logic. Okay, so that is what decorator means. So steps, let's try to understand some steps how to perform this decorator. Okay, first define a function. First define a function with one param with minimum one parameter by taking another function. Okay, with one parameter by taking another function. Okay. Okay, now define a function. Define a function inside above function. Okay, inside above function. Okay, return inner function. Return inner function as a return to outer function. Outer function or function which defined in first point. Okay, so so basically these are the three simple steps you have to follow, right? Okay, call your outer function to see the effects, new effects to your original function. To see the new effects to the original function. Okay, so let me explain with program so that you will be clear. Okay, right. Second, so let me proceed. Let me open idle. Control N, Control F. Okay, so decorators X1, right? So what is the first step is you have to define a outer function. Okay, names are only for our uh, comfortness. Okay, you can write outer, you can write func, you can write decor. Okay, you can write whatever you want. Okay, outer, right. Outer function should, what is the point one, define a function in which first one parameter is must, that can be, that should be a function. Okay, so I'm just putting a function, right? Okay, now define inner function. Okay, inside you can define one function. Okay, right. Now what we are going to do is we are going to modify. Okay, first of all, I told you display message kind of functions when we have seen, whenever you are passing a function as parameter to another function, right? So first you should have defined this function, okay, right? So let me first define that. Okay, it's like whenever this meaning is, what shall I tell you? Outer is your beauty parlor, and fun is you going into the beauty parlor. Whenever you going into the beauty parlor, first of all, you as a human being should exist in this world, right? So first to give life to your function. Okay, so def function. Okay, so I am returning 10. So now, yes, you are there live. Okay, you have taken birth, you are there live. Now your way is 10, let's say. Now you go into beauty parlor, right? So that it will get effect, right? This 10 will get modified to something else. So what is that something else? We'll try to define. Def inner. Okay, so res equals to res equals to your function uh, plus 5 I'm giving. Okay, return res. Okay, so return inner, return res and return inner. Okay, fine. So basically, what I'm doing, same sort of concept only, like this kind of program you have seen. You're adding something to it and then returning internal variable rest. So basically, internal function is returning rest variable. So outer function is returning in inner function. Okay. Now you have your, as usual, fun. Okay. Now what I have to do is I have to call my outer function, right? So here is what I am going to pass itself is the matter, right? This is called actual parameter, right? Actual parameter. So here what you need to pass, you need to pass your function. Do you put open close or do you straight away call with function name? Just we put fun, that's it. Okay, whenever you are passing a function as parameter, at the time of calling you put only its name. Fine. Okay, now let me print result. Okay, so what happens, let's see, control s fi. So you have got an answer as like 15. Okay, but actually what is the answer of function original answer is 10, but we have passed it to another function and we have modified it, and then we have called that outer function, so that inner function result it has shown, that is a result. Okay, so wait, let me modify it. So let's say result 1. One second, this is result 2 I'll put, and this I'll put result 1. Now you call your function straight away, print your result 1, print your result 1. Okay, so what is this? What is this? This is without you decoration standing on the weight checking object. So it, let's say it is showing your weight is 10. Now after you going to beauty parlor, right? So when you check your weight, okay, so your weight is increased to 15. Okay, so that's what you can see the result. Okay, first time only calling function is giving, this is the original, this is the original answer of that function. This is the original answer of that function, but what you did is you passed this function, you passed this function as parameter to another function, right? So you defined an inner function, and you processed and you sent a function as a return to another function, and this inner will go and sit in the result variable. Okay, and this result you are displaying, so that 15 is coming in the inner, 15 is there, so that's the reason 15 is coming. So this 15, actually this 15 only, right? So basically what all you have tried understanding is we can pass a function to uh, parameter as another function, we can modify it and we can display it. Okay, So that's how your decorator works. Excuse me. So just take this. I will add some more value to this program. Taken, guys? Okay. So, so now there is a question here, sir. If one function is fine, getting modified, but in my program I will write hundreds of functions. Okay, and in which let's say some 50-60 functions should get modified, right? So at that time what should I do? Should I write a decorator for all that 50-60 functions? Is you understanding? So let me improvise this code. Okay, you take it as like into another program. Control, one sec. Control A, control C, control N, control V, control S. Let us say this as right. Now what I'm saying is you have your function as it is. This is example 2. Okay, I'm going to do some modifications to this logic. Okay, now def this, you have function 1. Now I'm going to define function 2, and this function 2 is return 20. Now another function 3, this is going to return as 30. Okay, so you see, now what we have done is we have got three functions in our program. Okay, so whenever you have three functions in your program, right, and you would like to modify some specific functions, okay, so what do I do? Okay, you just see your print fun open close. Let's see what it will give. It is giving 10. Okay, different way of calling your functions. You see, you called your f1 function, it is giving its result as 10. Fine. Now print fun2 and print fun3, control s f5. So what is there in this, sir? You just called all your functions, so automatically it has given there its own results. Fine. Now there is a special symbol at the rate decor. Okay, when you write at the rate decor, okay, right, at the rate outer, sorry, at the rate outer. Okay, so at the rate is the important symbol here. Okay, at the rate is important symbol. So and at the rate what you are writing outer, so what is this outer? Outer is the decorator. Okay, so here outer is the decorator function. Okay, so at the rate outer I have given for function 2, and let me call this control as f5. Okay, can you guess what is that error? I told you, if you remember, whenever you are returning a function object, inner open and close, and you are not supposed to put open and close here. Okay, so either here either here, or while calling that function you have to put open and close. Okay, So here I would like to call it function straight. See, you don't have to call decorator function. You have to call your function only. Okay. Then how it has to work. Okay. So you have to put at the rate decor and that function gets work. Fine. Are you getting my point? Okay. So sir, if I wanted to see the modification for another function, just put at the rate outer to it. Okay. Control S F5. So that also gets affected. Are you getting my point? If you have 100 functions defined and 75 functions should get decorate, right? So automatically you just put at the rate outer for it, it gets effect, right? So this is with the another way of calling your functions, decorator functions. Okay. So what is the what is one drop, it's not drawback actually. You have to, you can understand, if you can understand this, you can counter one point here. Okay, let me tell you. See sir, limitation I can see, yeah, limitation of this concept is, see, function 2, function 3, and likewise to how many number of functions if you put at the rate, your outer function, that many number of functions are getting affected with the new values, all good. But but what if what if function 2 wants increment 7 and function 3 wants increments 10, and let's say function 4 wants increment with the one value. Okay, here we are doing a constant increment with the 5, right? Are you understanding? So their own specific decorations if you have to do, then for every respective function you have to define separate decorators, right? So this kind of concept is like, in maxim all functions will get reflect with only some constant change. Okay. So if every function should get effect with the different modifications, different values, then you have to go ahead and write multiple decorators. Getting my point? So that's how your decorators work. Fine. Taken this program, shall I proceed with further program? This at the rate, you remember, this is very important. Okay, this function is getting effect with the new value, right? This not only function, we will give this at the rate for classes also. Okay, when we discuss oops concept, we will discuss this at the rate where it comes actually. Okay, fine. So let me proceed. So generators in Python. Generators in Python. So what is this generator? Generators are functions in Python which which returns sequence of values to the program. Sequence of values to the program. Okay. We use yield keyword instead of return return keyword. Okay. The other way is any function which is using yield keyword yield keyword, that is nothing but generator. Okay, that is nothing but generator. Understanding? So simple identification to identify whether this is a normal function or generator, right? Because generator also looks like normal function only, right? How do you differentiate? Means there will not be any return keyword, and for sure there will be a yield keyword. Okay, yield means what? It's another yield means you will have to yield one by one value. Okay, so it's kind of fetching. Okay, in simple terms, if I have to say, you fetch number of values, fetch multiple values as such. Am I right? Okay, now let me show a program and I'll try to make you understand. Control N, Control S. Okay, generators example. Okay, so def function. Okay, so function, let's say you can take a couple of parameters a comma b. Okay, so what you can do is uh, you can take while a lesser than or equals to b, right? So what you are doing is you are returning values, like print x we write, right? Print a. Instead what we are doing is we are returning a. Okay, and then obviously you have to increment uh, your a. It's a simple for loop, simple while loop. Okay, so instead of print a, I'm saying yield a. From function is returning values for me. Fine. Okay, so now what you need to do, you have to call your function, res function. How many values you have to pass? You have to pass two values because two parameters have taken. So read those parameters. Int of input of enter start number, n is equals to int of input of enter end number, right? Okay, now what you need to do is you have to say m comma n. Okay, you should not have any doubts here. Okay, so this is called actual. Okay, this is how you pass, you read values and you pass to the function, and the function, this m and n will get reflect with the a and b. Okay, right now a lesser than or equals to b, yield a, print a, instead we are tying yield a. So that will be there in your res. Okay, now, so res contains what? Res is a collection now. Am I right or wrong? Because multiple values have gone and sat inside your res. So collection, how do you print? For I in res, print I. Now what happens, you see? Let me execute and trace. Control S F5. Can you see right bottom? Enter start number. Let me enter 11. Enter n number. Let me enter 20. So what happens is let me trace now. So you have entered this as 11 and this as 20. So 11 and 20 are passing here, these values will go and sit here, 11 and 20. So 11 greater than lesser than or equals to 20, yes. So yield 11. So first 11 will come and sit here. Now 11 become 12 with this line, and 12 less than or equals to 20, yes, yield 12. So 12 will be yield to rest, likewise so on till 20, and when condition fails, 21 lesser than 20 false, so your while loop execution is over, therefore your function execution is over. All 11 to 20 values are in there in this rest now. So since it is multiple values, we are saying it is collection. You have to fetch these values using for loop. For I in rest, print I. So I gave 20, right? And I have not clicked on enter at the right side. Let me click on enter so that you can see all the values. Okay, so basically whenever if your function would like to work as like for loop, okay, in a way I should say is work as like for loop. multiple values it has to respond to the program. So you have to utilize yield keyword. See, yield return, sir, if a function has to return one value, two value, you remember somebody will ask question like this. Okay, fine, you explained yield for me, all good. It is that return, uh, we are replacing with the yield. Okay, so return only can return one variable or two or three, right? But what is that effect when you do? See, let me write this. When you do def f1 some program, let's say, and here return, let's say a comma b comma c, there means what I told you, res1 comma res2 comma res3 is equals to f1. Likewise, you have to go and equate multiple number of variables. You remember I have told this kind of program also we have seen function returning only two values, function returning three values, right? So if it is returning two values, you have to assign only your function with the two variables, right? So if it is returning three values, three variables, so instead of writing multiple variables in the return line, are you going for yield? Okay, generally people think that yield can return multiple values. Return also can return multiple values, but you are keeping on equating with multiple variables, right? Instead, if you go to yield, only one variable if you put on left side, that should be okay, is what you're thinking. But no. So basically what I'm trying to make you understand is yield is not a replacement for return. Yield is like it yields a sequence of values. Okay, if you see the first point under generators, yield helps in uh, fetching displaying the sequence of values. Okay, so generators helps for us in displaying sequence of values. That's how you use it. Okay, nothing more than that. Okay, so just just write down this one point. Okay, is that return one, or well, let me edit this. Is that return we are replacing with yield? Uh, just you can write down as like answer. Okay, no, both, no, both has got different meanings. Okay, so return returns value to program. Okay, let me minimize my chat window. Return returns values to program, whereas yield, one sec, whereas yield return sequence of values. Returns values to program, whereas yield returns sequence of values to the program. Okay, so you should not have any confusion between yield and return. People will try to pull your leg and ask questions. They'll try to confuse you. Okay, but you should be so specific. Okay, if you want, you can modify your values. You can give whatever the sequence you want. Okay, so let me take 21 and let me give 25. Sorry. Okay, fine. 21. I'll give 30. It will give these five numbers. Understanding? So whatever the numbers you want, you can give. Right? So with this, we will say pause to functions. Okay. We'll stop for functions concept. We have discussed enough. Now, what shall we do is we will quickly jump into another concept. I'll give a minute time for you to take uh, one sec. Okay, let me write these things also here only. One second, guys. I'll show. Okay, let me take. I'm moving out for 2 minutes. I'll have water and come. Meanwhile, you just complete it. We will start off with a very fresh concept. Okay, I'm just moving away for 2 minutes. Okay, so let's start off with a fresh another concept. Right. Okay, modules in Python. Once if you are having good understanding in modules in Python, then we are eligible to go ahead and start seeing advanced concepts of Python. Okay, be it oops or exception handling or multi-threading or collections. Okay, so whatever, fine. So let's try to understand modules concept. Okay, right. What is the module in Python? Tell me, what is a module in Python? Can anybody in chat, or maybe you can also talk, not an issue. Hmm? What is a module in Python? Any any file which is saved as .py, any file which is saved as .py, which is any file which is saved as .py is a module in Python. Okay, understand? Means what? We might have done some 50-60 programs right from day one till today, right? All programs have saved with a .py extension. Am I right? So all are programs, right? All these programs you can also called as modules. Okay, in Python. Okay, every program we write is a module. Okay, is a module. Fine. So what module contains? What module contains? Tell me. What module contains? Module contains. Can you guess? Module contains its properties. What are those properties? Module contains global variables, right? Functions and classes. Okay, so when I say classes, automatically objects concept also covered. Okay, in it. So basically, these are the only three things which you can create in your modules. Sir, if loop, for loop also I'm creating. No, so no, those things are not reusable in next file. Okay, but global variables, functions, classes, these are the three things can be reused in the next file. Okay, so what are properties of a module? Okay, what module contains, what are properties of a module? Okay, these are all kind of same points. Okay, anything which can be reused, anything which can be reused, any eh, it can be reused module in module from module, anything which can be reused from one module into another module is called a property, is called a property of a module, right? Is called property of a module. So global variables, let me highlight again: global variables, functions, classes. Okay, functions and classes. So above three are module properties which we can which, which we can reuse, which we can reuse in into another module. Okay, which we can reuse into another module. Okay, right. So next question: how we can use modules of one sorry, how we can use properties of one module into another module? Okay, this is what all the point: how we can use properties of one module into another module, right? Using import statement. Okay, using import statement, right? So in how many ways you can we can write import statement. Don't bother, all I will explain through program. First write down important points. In how many ways we can write import statement? Import, these are all, any point can convert in, can come in the form of a question. Okay, so that's better, that's the reason I'm trying to highlight in terms of points. In how many ways we can write import statement? Two ways. Okay, so one is normal import. Okay, second one is from import. Okay, one is normal import, the other is from import. Okay, right. Now let me just take, then I will go ahead and show importance of modules in program. Okay, so just you guys start taking these things. Let me control N, control S. Let's say mod1 is what my file name is. Mod1.py. Now let me define variable a is equals to 1000 def f1 print in f1 of mod 1. Okay, right. Now you can also define another function f2, print in f2 of mod 2. Okay, right, fine. You can also have another variable, okay, b equals to 2000, right? I'm not creating any class as of now. Why? Because we have not got introduced to oops yet, but that's okay. To understand the concept of modules using a function and a global, these you can understand this logic, right? So it is good, it is very much enough for you to understand the concept of modules. So what I have defined here, couple of global variables and couple of functions, am I right? So now tell me, total how many properties are there? Just a sec, I'm getting call. Yeah, sorry. So tell me how many properties we have for mod1.py. Just type the number in the chat if you really understood. So somebody said to, Anusha said to, no, that's not correct. How many number of properties you have for mod1? You should understand number of properties of a module very clearly. Why? Because you are going to learn how to utilize this module properties into another module using import statement, right? So you should have very clarity. Can anybody try how many number of properties we have? No, 3 is also wrong. There are total 4 properties we have. Okay, what I said, I already told you. Every one second, let me change color. Okay, so a is a global variable. Okay, one global variable, first one. F1 is a function, this is also a property. 2, f2 is a function, pure function, so this is also one property. 3, okay, b is a global variable. So total we have 4 properties of mod 1. Okay, have this point in your mind. Okay, now let me explain something else. See, now mod 1 is a program, I'm calling it as like a module. Why? Because it contains some properties. Not just because it contains some properties we are calling it as like a module. See, C program also contains 2 global variables and two functions we can write in C program also. But are we calling C program as like a C module? No. Modularity, the fourth point when we discussed in the very first session, importance of programming languages, functional programming, object oriented scripting, and modular. If you remember, modularity nature means what, right? Every single property of a module you can able to reuse that into another module, right? So that flexibility will be there for modules, not for program. See, not all programs are modules, but all modules are programs. You understand this logic, right? All, not all programs are modules, but all modules are programs. Okay, so this is not only specific to Python, I'm saying in general. Okay, people, C language, C plus plus, you might have, or Java, somebody, right? You are now learning Python, or you might have already learned Python to some extent. There are lots of languages in your mind, right? So in every language we write hello world, we write programs, right? We write multiple programs. So not all programs in real world are not called modules. Okay, but all modules, which languages support all modules concepts, so we call that programs as like modules. So all modules are 100% programs, right? I hope you have understood this logic. So basically, specifics to Python, every program is a module. Why? Because you can utilize the 1 2 3 4 properties straight immediately into our next Python files. Okay, right. Okay, so till now you don't know this concept how to import. I'm just you know trying to explain you. Now let me go ahead and see. Let me go ahead and create control N, control S. Now let me create a test.py file. Okay. Now right side one you can see test.py file. Okay. Now what is this test.py file? Imagine it is, let's say, your project work. Okay, your project work, right? So what is your project work? Your faculty told to show 100, show 1000 in the output. Sorry, why I kept generator. Okay, yeah. So your faculty said show 1000 in the output. That is what your, that must be your project output. Okay, if you execute this program, okay, what you need to show, you have to show output as like just 1000. Imagine this is what your task. Okay, you have to show output as like 1000. This is what your task. So what you do, immediately you create a variable 1000 and you print x and control s f5 you click. Yes madam, as per your requirement I have shown 1000 in the output. Okay, so give me 100 out of 100 marks you are asking. Okay, fine. Oh, very good. As expected, answer has come. Okay, let me also see the code. I'm curious to see your code. Okay, so x equals to 1000, print x you did. Okay, so then immediately here I have a question. This is called global variable of your test.py program. So I am saying, hey bugger, why you have created this variable x and storing 1000 in this? Okay, creating global variable means wasting, using memory. Am I right or wrong? A global variable you have created means it gets some memory allocated, right? Okay, so why you have created this x variable? Instead there is a variable with 1000 already present in your previous program, right? Why can't you can use that in your program? Are you understanding? Existing existing module properties get fetching into your current module. That is what the concept of modules, right? So yes sir, yes, I have created mod1.py yesterday. In that there is a variable with 1000 value, it is there, right? Yeah, so but how should I utilize my previous module properties into my current program? That I don't know sir. Yeah, concept is good. If I can able to utilize variable a in my test.py, it will be so good. I don't need to create my variable x and I don't need to waste memory. But I don't know sir how to utilize my existing properties modules into current module. Okay, so if that is the case, let me explain you. So for that only you have 2 points. Now can you read the fifth point? In how many? Okay, fourth and fifth. How we can use properties of one module into another module using import statement. So you should know how to import, how to write this import statement. In how many ways we can write import statement? There are only two ways you can write import statement. One is normal import, the other is from import. Okay, so let's try to understand first normal import. Okay, and then we'll try to explore uh, second one from import. Okay, normal import. Okay, syntax. First syntax, import module name. Import module name. Right, now let me go ahead and do that. Import, what is my module name? Mod1. Am I right? Am I right or wrong? Left side program name is what? Mod1.py. So mod1 is the module name. So you have to import module name as it is, right? Now, good. Now you don't have to utilize this line. Okay. So let me erase that line, right? Now how many property when you have imported whole module, right? So what is the understanding? You have imported whole module. So all four properties are made available for this program. Okay, can I say, instead of number giving this number, can I say like this, all 100% properties are made available for your current program. Am I right or wrong? 100% properties, because here you can define 20 global variables, you can define 30 functions, 40 classes, god knows how many things you will define here. Whenever you do normal import means you don't have normal word in the syntax. Just for your understanding, I said normal import. Basically we write only import command and we give module name. Whenever you give import space module name, 100% all properties will come and fall here, meaning made available, right? It's like, hash include stdio.h. Whenever you are writing hash include stdio.h, whenever you are writing hash include console conio.h, all functions of that studio.h are made available for your C program, right? Likewise here also all module properties are made available for our current program, that is test.py. All good. Okay, super. Let's, since we have got a made available, right, I can print a, right? My task is to only show 1000, so 1000 is there in a, so straight I can use print a, right? That's what I said, right? You have all four properties available, so why don't you straight away call it f5. Name a is not defined. Okay, name a is not defined. Sir, what is this, sir? Just now you said all properties are made available, so that is the reason I printed a. When I am printing a, as if it is working like there is no effect to this line. Am I right or wrong? I'm commenting and let me execute that. Same error, same error. Sir, what's the point in importing mod 1? It is not working. No, this may be your doubt, right? It is not working. No, I have imported complete mod 1, but when I'm trying to access variable a, it is not working. So what's the point? Have I done any mistake here? Yes, you have done some mistake. What is the mistake you have done is, whenever, listen carefully, this class is a very very important class, modules concept, today, tomorrow, okay, to next 2 3 sessions, please don't miss, because uh, Python is like, small programming language you think, but no other language is as big as Python. Okay, the day one I said, if you remember, right, Java has got 1K packages, and whereas Python has got 2 lakh plus modules, right? And Java size is 300 MB, okay, and Python size is how much? 30 MB approx, right? 30 MB, right? How it is possible. Okay, all these concepts I will explain. Before understanding these points, you should understand import statement thoroughly. So don't miss class and try to focus on these points, because tomorrow you go and do data science, you go and do web development, you go and do IoT stuff, you go and do testing stuff. Wherever you go, you have to use existing modules into your current projects. So if you don't know how to fetch module properties, right, and their behavior, it will be tough for you, right? So that's the reason. So the point here is import mod 1 print a is not working. Why, sir? Listen carefully. Whenever we do normal import, right, you have to call your module properties using with the prefix, putting its module name, right? Writing first before it's got prefix, right? Writing after we call what is that, a postfix or suffix. Postfix, so forget about postfix and all. So prefix means what? Prior. Okay, prior, in place of your properties, to that prior you have to put your module name dot property name. Okay, so module name dot property name. Okay, property name, this is what it is. Now let me control S and F5. You got your 1000. You have understood the point? Very simple point. What is that? Whenever you are doing normal import, you have to utilize module name as the prefix for every property. Clear? Now, so you got your task 1000. Now, but still you can do something more. Now, what should I write to print my B? If I write B, will it work? It will not work. As I told you, properties you have to call with the module name. Okay, mod1 dot b. This is something like, I will tell you in layman terms. See see you are going to your neighbor home. Okay, so the neighbor, your friend dad is not recognizing you. Okay, hey, who are you is what your friend dad is telling. Okay, so no sir, my name is X. Okay, so I stay next to your home. Okay, I don't know, I cannot recognize you, please go out, is what your friend dad is saying, neighbor dad is saying. Okay, okay, so what you did is, now you went to your home, you are holding your dad hand, and you are pulling your dad to your neighbor friend. Okay, so now, yeah sir, can you recognize me? So uncle, can you recognize me? I'm X and he is my father Y. Okay, so if you, it means what, your neighbor uncle is recognizing you only if you come along with your father. Understanding? Likewise, interpreter is recognizing here A only if you tell where is this A from. Understanding? Okay, you have to tell to the interpreter A is from mod 1. Okay, so this concept is only for your normal import. Okay, when you go for from import, automatically you can directly call your property name, that I will tell you, not an issue. Okay, so how do we call function? Will this work? Will this work? Control S F5, you see, F1 is not defined. That's what bugger I'm telling. Come with your dad. No, come with your module name. Mod1 dot F1. Control S. Getting my point. So how to call mod 2? Sorry, F2 mod1 dot F2. Control S F5. Okay, right? But actually your task is to print only 1000. But you know what? You can also, okay, we can also access other properties. Okay, other properties, right? Like this, am I right or wrong? The below three are not required for us, but still we have accessed. Okay, now, now, so just take this program, and I would like to highlight all points. Okay, I hope you have taken this program. Yes, I'll give 1 minute just to take this program and write down these comments. Also, we can access other properties. Okay, let me take 1 minute. I'll pause for 1 minute. Then you can take this program. Control S F5. Okay, I hope you have taken mod one already. Just I'm showing mod you have test.py, and its output is there in the left side. Okay, just take quickly. Shall I proceed? Take quickly. Take Varun. Okay, now now try to write down some points. So this is first point, syntax, we got it. Second point, whenever we do normal import, whenever we do normal import, we should, whenever we do normal import, sorry. Okay, these are very important points. Okay, in our further classes, every time I will ask you, go and see the normal import points, go and see the from import points, and then answer my question. Likewise, I will keep on ask. So these points are very important. Please note down. Whenever we do normal import, we should call the properties we should call the properties by putting prefix as module name. Okay, by putting prefix as module name. So our program mod1 dot a, one second. Okay, right. Okay, now, okay, aliasing is possible in normal import. So what do you mean by aliasing, sir? I will explain here. Come to the uh, test.py. Okay, I hope you have taken this program, right? So test.py you are writing now. Version 1 you have taken. Now let me try to give version 2. Okay, version 2, text.py version 2. Okay, aliasing. Now you see, you have to import your mod 1 as q, as q. What is this as q? Let me tell you. Print. No, your task is to print a, right? So but prefix you have to put mod1 dot a, no, right? Yes or no? So just that, what the new value addition I did, just as q is what I have written. Print mod1 dot a. So let me check whether it is working or not. Now what it is saying, mod1 dot a is not defined. Okay, name mod1 is not defined. Okay, I will have to explain here one small example. See, Q is the nickname of your mod 1. Mod 1 is like original name of yours, and Q is the nickname of your mod 1. So, see, I'll tell you, you will be having Chintu, Bunty kind of nicknames in your home, Chinna, Kanna kind of, right? So, right, so people and surround people surrounding you, friends, neighbors, relatives, recognize some people in our families with their nickname only. Chinna Chinna only people call, or Bunty Bubbly only people call. And they sometimes, parents itself will, meaning close people itself will forget the original name of that person, right? They recognize that guy only with the nickname. Yes, it is possible, right? So it has happened with me only, actually. Okay, my wife, when I got married, so my wife side people, your grandmother, father side people call Sony. Okay, so they're calling Sony. Okay, and I'm looking around like, who is Sony in the room? Okay, in the hall. Okay, my wife responded. Okay, people call my wife as like Sony. Okay, the other side, my wife grandmother, like, mother's side family, those people call Pinky. Okay, so again when they call Pinky, my wife is responding. So I asked that relatives, okay, so why do you call this Sony Pinky? Means right from childhood they're calling that names. Okay, at a stage I myself forgotten the original name of my wife. Okay, so and most of the relatives I inquired, they also don't know the original. Mean kids, 7 8 year old kids, right? They don't know original name of my wife. Okay, they also started calling Sony Akka, Pinky Akka kind of. Okay, so point is, so when we call with the original nicknames, when we used to call with the nicknames, then we forget original names. That is the point. Likewise, whenever you make your module name as nickname, that is alias, right, your interpreter will not detect its original name. That is the reason error is not with a, error is with mod 1. If you want, you see the error once again. Error is, it is name mod 1 is not defined. If you see the above errors, name a is not defined. This a, I am not understanding what is this, is what the above program. But here you see mod 1 itself is not understanding, is what your interpreter is saying. Means what? When it's like, your own father forgotten your name. Okay, because all the people in the world calling you as like Chintu Bantu as such. right? I hope you have understood. Basically, interpreter will not work with the original name whenever you make it as like alias. First of all, why alias, sir? I will tell you. First, you take this q dot a. Now you call it with alias name. Now it is working fine. You got your 1,000 as like answer. Am I right? So basically, in real time, module names will be so big. Imagine if it is such a big mod one, okay, some 7, 8 characters, 10 characters as such. What you have to do, you have to keep on put all these D's. Okay, and let's say this property name is a name is such a big. Okay, it is possible, right? You can have your, okay, just trying to, okay, meaningful name, let me give, okay, temperature. It is possible, okay, meaningful names you will give like this. Okay, so mod1 dot temperature. Okay, you cannot minimize variable name, so but you can minimize your module name, right? You can minimize your module name. So that is how for that reason, people have introduced modules concept, okay, sorry, aliasing concept. Okay, so in real time you will call multiple modules, multiple properties with module name as like prefix. At that time you will understand why this aliasing is, okay, simple concept. Yeah, okay, import pandas as pd. If you have done your analytics, we will write like this: import numpy as np. Okay, so and pd dot, you will call your function one. Okay, so you will np dot array, okay, something like this. Okay, so you will call your function, instead of numpy you will call np, instead of pandas you will put pd as like prefix, right? So I'll show these things. We have to see multiple lines of these things. Okay, so please try to understand. Aliasing means it will shorten your code. Okay, okay, anyways, this is comment, no, let it be like that. Now print q dot, you understood, right? So basically aliasing is possible. Okay, how do you call f1? Tell me. Q dot f1, control s f5. Got it? So when you make it alias, original names will not work, is what the point you have to understand. Aliasing is possible in normal import. Whenever we make module, whenever we put alias name for module, interpreter interpreter will stop recognizing interpreter will stop recognizing original name module with original name module with original name. Okay, it will only recognize with its alias name. Okay, with its only alias name. Getting my point? Okay, so now let's go ahead and see the fourth point. Whenever we do normal import, 100% properties of module are made available made available to our current module. Okay, 100% properties of module are made available to our current module. Okay, so this is not a good practice. This is not a good practice. Why? Because interpreter interpreter why? Because burden on interpreter will be huge, will be more or huge, anything you can write. or high, whatever. You have to understand point. That's it. Burden on interpreter will be more. I will tell you. I will make you understand this point. Okay. When we do normal import, 100% properties of module are made available to our current module. So that's what I said also, right? So what I said here, you have four properties. All four, I mean 100% properties are made available for your program. But what is your project task? Your project task is only this line showing 1000 to your teacher, right? Only showing 1000 to your teacher, but it is making available like F1, F2, your B, including our A. It's like, your requirement is 25% of it, but you are getting 100% stuff, right? So if I have to explain this in a layman, see, next Sunday, anyways, today's Sunday, but next Sunday, uh, you have a function at home. So you are calling your good close friends and relatives. Only 20 people you are trying to invite for a small party. Okay, fine. So you will prepare food for them. Obviously, you will go to DMart and you will order one case of cool drinks, right? So one case of cool drink contains how many? How many? One second. So one case of cool drinks contain, let's say 20 cool drinks. Okay. So your estimation is like 15 to 20 people will come. So you will only order one case and you will tell that, hey, tomorrow morning by 11 a.m. I want cool drink case to deliver at my home. Okay, 12 o'clock, relatives will come. We have to use these cool drinks. Okay, fine. Do you do this, or the moment when you go to your DMart, you see 1000 cases in the shop? Okay, so what do you see? 1000 into 20,000 cool drinks, right? So by seeing the 1000 cases, right? Hey, I want all these 1000 cases of cool drinks to drop at home tomorrow by 11:30, because I have a function to celebrate for 20 people. Okay, so shop fellow will go mad, and at the same time he'll feel happy because his stock is getting sold out, right? So but point is, do you order these many cases for the sake of 20 people function? No, right? Just imagine, if you ordered 1000 cases, how your house looks like if you are rich fellows like staying in Banjara Jubilee Hills. Maybe in your veranda you can put your 1000 cases of cool drinks, but actually we stay in most of the times in apartments, or even individuals home also, uh, less space. Imagine this 1000 cases in front of your door or in your hall. Okay, it looks so odd, right? For the sake of one case of cool drink, you bugger ordered this many cases. How money waste, time waste, energy waste. Am I right or wrong? Okay, and people will laugh at you, right? In the same way, for the sake of one property, what you did, you went ahead for the sake of only one property. You went ahead and fetched entire program here. The fetching entire program into your current program is nothing but called ordering all 1000 cases. It is madness, right? So same concept here also, using normal import is madness, right? Why do you need F1? You don't need F1, right? Your project work is not to print F1, F2, not to execute these methods, right? Your project work is only to utilize this first variable. So why do you need other all properties? Which property you want, only take that property into your next program, right? Sir, you may say, sir, what's wrong, sir? We are not lifting anything. No, so let it be like that. All 100 properties, if it comes, it is always good. No, because tomorrow I might use F2, day after tomorrow I might use F1 or B variable, right? Likewise, I can utilize whatever I want. Hello, tomorrow if you want, you bring in tomorrow, not today, right? Today what you want, today you want only A. So bring in only A. Tomorrow, if you want F1, you bring in F1. Dynamically, you keep modify it, but don't bring in all 100% properties at a time. What? Why, sir? Because your interpreter will cry. Okay, your interpreter will cry. You are trying to execute your program. Let us say you when you do test.py. Whenever you do test.py, your interpreter will come. Okay, it will start seeing this first line, import mod1 as q. Okay, this fellow imported mod1 program. Okay, mod1 module, and which type of import he has used? This guy used normal import. Okay, so idiot used normal import. Anyways, my job is has to execute. I have to go to mod1.py in my program. So mod1 has got four properties. Thank god it is only four properties, not 40 properties. But I have to execute all the four properties, and it ensured all four are there. Now coming to your program and executing your program logic. Okay, so here whenever you use import command in any files, do you think interpreter will execute only this program? No, interpreter will first go to its respective modules which got imported, and it will ensure that this module is present, and it will come and it will execute this module. Understanding? So total two programs it executed. How many programs? Two programs. Okay, when you allow test.py for execution, your interpreter is executing mod1.py as well as test.py. So now tell me, whenever your interpreter coming into the picture, is it not burden of executing all the properties holding in hand, like thousand cases bringing to your home? Means it's a burden, right? They have to bring in two three DCMs or big vehicles, like, and because they have to make it, people have to make it available for you in front of your home. At any time you ask, they have to serve, right? Likewise, anytime you ask F1 F2, your interpreter has to work in the program, in our current program. So that's the reason I'm saying using normal import is burden. Okay, so please read this point. Whenever we do normal import, 100% properties of modules are made available to our current module. This is not good practice. Why? Why? Because burden on interpreter will be more huge high, as it has to execute both modules. Please write down this point, both modules. Okay, right. So to overcome this problem, what do? Is we will go ahead and learn second point, that is from import. Okay, I will stop now here. From import, I want your fresh minds again, so let's discuss this tomorrow. Okay, what are the advantages if we use from import? Okay, that I will discuss tomorrow, so you can note down these points. Programs are small only, but you have to understand the concept thoroughly, right? Once if you understand, then because this as I told you, numpy import numpy as np, right? From numpy import x, from numpy import star. There are multiple things are there to see. Okay, in real time, you, if you don't, that's what I said. If you remember, if you know Python, if you are attending interview of Python, let's say, right? You wrote Python and languages, you know Python. People don't ask, do you know basics of Python? Do you know this syntax? Do you know function? Do you know this, that? Like, people don't look at you and ask basic questions. Rather, people people ask you how many modules you know in Python. Okay, so I know NumPy means you can do mathematical stuff a lot. Okay, 2D array stuff a lot. You know, I know Pandas means you can do data analytics stuff. I know Django. You can do web application. So how many number of modules you know is what matters for other side guys, right? So you should. We have not yet gone inside to any module and explored. Point is, we are trying to understand what is a module, how we can able to utilize in another module, right? The basics we are trying to understand in this class. Okay, so this is very very important session, and tomorrow's session as well. Fine. So with this I will stop. If you have any questions, you're free to ask. Okay. Any questions? Taken program is small only. Okay. I'll show one small thing. You see, in the test.py, if you can understand, that's fine. If you cannot, that's okay. Okay, I'm adding two, three more lines. Import math, okay, and print math dot sqrt of 100. Control S F5. 10.0 it is displaying, right? 10.0, that is the effect of these two lines. What is this? Is a real-time module, meaning it's a predefined module, which math is a predefined module which gets by default when you install your Python software. Okay, and sqrt is a property of math module. So actually sqrt is a function, right? The way how I have called q dot f1, okay, excuse me, q dot f1, the way how I have called, right? See, control s f5 in f1 of mod 1, the way how I have called f1, using our mod 1 alias string name q. Here math.sqrt I have called. Sqrt is a function in the math module. So if you don't write this line, you see, if you don't write this line, your sqrt will not work. Math is not available. Okay, so generally people think that sqrt is a like default functions in Python. It will work like type, id, input. These functions are working, right, without importing anything. So like sqrt, you think it will work? It will not work. Sqrt, I don't know what is this. Tell me, bugger, where is the sqrt coming? Yeah, wait, I will make it available. Sqrt is coming from math. Control s f5. Okay, still I don't understand what is a sqrt. Bugger, you used type 1. Type 1 means you have to put prefix. Understand? So that's what it is. So this is all about normal import. We will go ahead and learn from import in the next session.